pursuit of happiness.
So tomorrow they'll be back.
Hi, everyone. How is everyone? Oh, look at all these amazing people. Hi. Hello. Hello. I'm watching from Mr. James. Good to see you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Uh-huh. Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm just watching for James, y'all, so I can let James in when he gets here. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Okay. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just make sure in case James is trying to get a hold of me. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's James Brandis, but not James Hallett. I am looking for Mr. James Hallett. He'll show up soon. And then I will let him over into the dock side. Let's see if he's here yet. No. Okay. Hi, everyone. Oh, it's just now 1 o'clock. Sarah, make sure that James has the link, which I think he does. He's probably just held up right now. Hi, everyone. So today we are going to talk about how far can you go? And I'll explain what I mean by that in a few seconds when I get James on here. There's Mr. James. Okay. Promote to panelist. Promote to panelist. Did I promote him? Yes, I promoted James Hallett. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
You as well. You as well. You as well. So happy August.
We made it.
We made it. We're here, and welcome to everyone. And so glad you can all join us today. Mostly, I think most everyone knows who we are. James, you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. I am who I seem to have always been. I'm James Hallett. I am super excited to be here. Valorie, this is quick. Valorie and I met in a coaching program for business owners, for entrepreneurs, and we immediately hit it off. And I had seen Valorie on stage in New York City with my dear friend Antoinette LaVecchia, years before that. And I, like Valorie, I am a professional actor and have been for a long time, and have mostly transitioned into coaching, and I coach actors on stage, on camera, on film, TV, and I also work with people to help them to clear old patterns and to unblock the things that are standing in their way. So my work and Valerie's work do really, really well together, and I think I'm super happy to be here today with you guys.
Awesome. We're happy to have you. So, I'm preparing for my 3-day event, which is, you guys, we've been doing a 3-day event for 8 years. This will be our 8th year. I can't believe it, James.
Wow.
And it's October 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's called the Game Changer event. So just so you know, like when I do 3 events a year, a lot of you guys came to our Summer Pitch Fest or our Accelerate Live event or both. And then our end of the year event in October is always the Game Changer event. And it's 3 days that are designed to change the current game that you're playing. So every time that I get ready for this event, it's like throwing a 3-day show. I myself go through a cathartic change because I'm absorbing all this information and sort of deciding the theme of the show and what the show is going to be about and what I want you guys to leave with as actors and how I want all of that to affect you. And so, you know, I'm in that process right now. And so, these are 3 topics that I brought up in our client mastermind on Tuesday. And the first one was relationships, like, you know, building relationships, which we're not going to talk about today, but we will be talking about that. Thinking in a new and different way, which is a little bit what we're going to talk about. But the last one was, how far can you take it? So that's what I'm interested in talking about today, because a lot of what I heard on the mastermind on Tuesday was, well, that, you know, there's all these clients that are booking all these work. And I mean, like, literally, like, we have some people that are booking something every week, you know? And so the clients see those people and maybe they feel like they've been trying everything and nothing's working. So that's what they bring, their complaint. They bring their complaint to the table. And I'm sure that you have all felt that way before, that you've gone to every casting workshop, you've done all these mailings, you've done all this stuff and nothing worked, right? So the question that I want you to ask yourself when this happens, the next time this happens, I want you to look at the last thing you did, whether it was a casting workshop or a reach out or whatever. And I want you to ask these questions. How brave was I in that moment? Could I have been braver? Was that the real truth? Or was there a bigger truth for me in the scene or what I asked them for if it's a pitch? Right? Is there something else I could have said? Is there something else I could have said? And how was I being me in the moment, whether it was an audition or a conversation or a pitch or an ask or whatever it was? Those are just some of the questions that I would like you to ask yourself. And what this does is it puts the ball in your court, because remember, you're the boss. And so you make the decisions, but that doesn't mean that you need to beat up on yourself. Like, I've tried everything and nothing works. Okay, so let's look at what you're trying and let's see if we can push it farther. Because, like, it's always that little extra thing, you guys, that will get you the job. Right? So I always tell the story of, like, going to the audition for the 80s aerobics instructor. And, you know, it said that it was like 1980s. And she was teaching aerobics. So I had a pink leopard headband. So I wore it. And when I got to the producer's call, there was a girl in all black workout clothes. And I was like, it's Disney. Why are you wearing all black? And it's the 80s. No one wore black in the 80s, you know? And so I walked into the callback and the producer goes, nice headband. And I was like, thanks. And then I knew immediately, like, I didn't need to say anything. I booked the job. Right. So it's taking that little extra thought or that little extra thing. And I also tell this story. So I was really good friends in my early days with Casey Shamosko. And if you don't know who he was a brat packer. He was on the poster of Young Guns. He was the guy in all the Back to the Future movies that had the 3D glasses on and Biff's glass. That was Biff's gang, right? That was who he was. And he said that he had an audition for a movie and he climbed a tree at the director's house. He was at the director's house and he climbed the tree in the backyard. And I thought, oh, does that mean I need to climb a tree to book a part? But then the real thing behind that is like I don't care. Like one of my clients said to me, she goes, you taught me how to, well, I'm going to do this. I don't care what happens. Like, I'm going to do this. I don't care what happens. Like, I care about what I'm doing in the moment, but I don't care about the results. So that's what I mean by how far can you go? Have you taken it all the way? Have you really asked for what you wanted? So what do you think of all that?
So Valerie, if I can,
Yeah.
you had 4 questions, and my brain processed 3 of them. So can you go through the 4 questions again?
How brave were you?
Okay, so could I have been braver?
What was the truth?
Oh, that's okay. That's the one.
Yeah. What was the truth? Like,
yeah.
Right. So it's like when I ask you to evaluate like what you did, it's like, tell the truth, but don't beat up on yourself. I'm not asking you to beat up on yourself. I'm asking you to go, oh yeah. Okay. So because, oh, I did this and I feel like, I said to a client today, she goes, she said, well, let me finish telling you the questions because that's what you asked. What was the truth? Is there something else I could have said? And how was I mean?
So the how was I mean?
Me.
Can you talk?
Me.
Oh, me. Got it. Okay. How was I being me? Right. Yeah. And that, how was I being me can be an empowering thing. And it can also be disempowering. And one of the other questions that I might add to that list is, if anything, was there something that I let get in my way?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Did I let something external or internal distract me from my power?
Yeah.
That, I mean, for me, that's a lot of the work that I do with people.
Yeah.
Is sort of like, I mean, this is sort of a simple example, but it happens a lot in our industry, right? You walk in the waiting room, you're prepared, you're relaxed, you're all set, and then someone else comes in the waiting room and starts talking to you, or starts talking loudly, or you start thinking about
or complains, or complaining, or they bring a bad energy into the room.
Or we look at them and we're like, oh my God, they're so much better than me, they're going to get it, right?
Yeah.
Or oh no, so and so's in the room, and we throw in the towel.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are great questions. They're really great questions. I mean, could I have been braver? I think this is so. I want to relate this to something that a lot of actors hear. So so you're in the middle of 50 people being seen by a casting director, right?
Yeah.
And the casting director has seen 20 people make the same mistake over and over again. So you walk in the room and the casting director says, no matter what you do, don't do blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we, being sensitive people, we get stuck on what the casting director just said, and we throw out all the work that we've prepared.
Yeah.
We are so focused on what the casting director just said not to do that we basically toss all the preparation out the back, and all of the focus of our audition is on what the casting director just said not to do. And what do? We do exactly what they said not to do because we're focused on the not to do.
Yeah. And you can't play what not to do.
That's right. You can't play.
You can't activate that as an actor.
Exactly. So
I mean, I did have one time, this is a story. Like, I did all this prep. I had a really big audition. I was going in for producers. And right before I went in, the casting director said, she doesn't want everyone to think she's a bigot. And I was like, because I was playing her like, right. And so instead I was like, it was like on Big Love. So I had to ask him not to let people know that he was a polygamist, right? Like kind of on the school board. And so it was like, when you have to ask someone, but you don't want to come across as, whatever. So anyway, like the way she said it to me, it made me think in a thought. And that's what you always want to go in with an audition, is a thought. Like, what do you think or need from the other person across from you? Like.
Well, yeah, and you took what she said the right way, which is as a slight adjustment. You adjusted.
Yeah.
You didn't throw out
No.
right? And I think that the challenge for us is not to not to get discombobulated, right?
Yes.
And that goes also to I mean, there are a couple. I mean, this is great questions. Like, what was the truth? I think of what was the truth, and I'm like, oh my God, there's so many times where I know it for myself. I am, I focused on something like after the fact. I beat myself up, and the truth was I did fine. And this is the other thing, you guys, is that oftentimes we're doing great, and we're actually getting good feedback. The casting director just needs to see us a number of times to trust us. The casting directors actually, I look at when a casting director calls me in a second time or a third time, I see that as a callback, even if it's for a different role.
Yeah, of course. It always is that if they're calling you back again, they like what you're doing in the room. And usually what I find is they're just looking for a part for you.
Exactly.
But James, we don't go in the room anymore.
Right. So the other thing about that is, like, how was I being me, and was I being me in a really good way? Like, was I relaxing into my power, trusting the talent that I bring to the table? Because if we're trusting the talent we bring to the table, then we're going to come in with our best foot forward.
Right.
If we're doubting ourselves, or doubting what we bring into the room, or doubting or questioning our talent, or questioning deserving to be in the room, then we need a little shift in mindset.
Oh yeah. So much of it is it is all shift in mindset. I mean, it all of it is.
Yeah.
Right. It's like there was something I was thinking when I was telling you before about coaching someone this morning, and it's like, what's interesting is we put everyone except us, like casting directors, agents, all of these people up on a pedestal. And especially when it comes to agents, which is a problem, because literally actors will sign with the first, like if a homeless guy on the street, you walked outside, he said, oh, I'm an agent. You're like, okay, you'd sign with him. And we were talking about operating procedures in her company with my client this morning. And for you guys that don't know what that is, I mean, a lot of you on here have been clients or are currently clients. So operating procedures are really important so one operating procedure that is a common that we talked about on the mastermind is having a list of what you do when you get an audition. So you don't have to run around like a chicken with your head cut off. Like 1, read the script through 3 times. 2, decide if you're taking the audition. 3, confirm the audition. 4, put it in your calendar and put in rehearsal time. 5, decide if you're getting it coached, hire the coach. 6, decide what you're wearing. Start rehearsing. Like that's like, so, and that seems like duh. Right? Like it seems like duh, but all businesses. So you guys, when someone's going to sell a business and you as an actor are a business, is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm in my family house, so
I know. So I just like, if someone comes and gets you, I'm like, okay. So all of those things, what was I saying about the, I have no.
I'm so sorry.
Knowing, what I was talking about was agents, I was talking about operating procedures. So understanding that when an agent asks you, says, oh, that's not the way we do things here. If an agent says to you, that's not the way we do things here, this is what you need to say back to them. Okay, great. So I think that we need to be really clear about the things that you do and the things that I do. I don't think that's and you need to be really clear about your expectations in any relationship, and know that, when you have a company, right, you have many people that work for that company. Right. And so, and I know the other thing I was going to tell you. So being clear about what they're doing and when they're going to get it done by is what you have to be focused on. when people work for you, and having systems in place for how you do things. Because the other thing that systems do for you is they take away the uncertainty. They take away the nervous, worried, because most of the time, all of the shit that we go through to get somewhere is just in our mind. Once we get past that and actually take the action, it's never as bad as we make it out to be. Yeah. Right. And so, having a system can really help you from the squirrel brain, oh, there's a squirrel. Oh, there's a squirrel, right? Like being really clear about what it is. And, knowing that when you have a company, a lot of people work for you and people have their strengths, right? And then you have to say to yourself, is 10% of what I make worth it for that person, for what they're doing for me, right? We're done talking about agents. It's August now. We're talking about you actually booking acting jobs.
So I want to also talk about the systems of acting technique as well. Because, people can get caught in the story of like, I don't want to prepare too much or whatever. And my thing about it is we should know how we approach a text. We should know how we break down the scene. We should know, we should know how we figure out in the scene what we're doing, what we're going for. And also what the scene is about in the story, right? What is this scene? What purpose does it serve? And that's all technical analysis, right? That's system. Like looking at a script that way is system. And if we understand that, then it's not so hard. And then we can relax into it and play. And the system supports play.
Yes.
Right. The
structure comes great freedom.
That's right. And we want, whatever that structure is, we want it to free us. And the same is true, going back to agents, the same is true with an agent, right? We don't want our agent, we don't want to be embattled with our agent. We want the agent to be doing things that actually serve our business so that we can play. And the play is actually how we book jobs. We book jobs by being playful. We book jobs because people are like, oh my God, you owned that role. We want to play with you. We want you to be part of our team. That's how you book jobs. We have a question, and I think it might take it because it's in the sort of vein of what we were talking about. So Joshua Howard said, I've been struggling lately, and it feels like I'm invisible. How do you use this as motivation? I got rid of my hit list and decided to start over. I don't know if that was a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good idea. I think that don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. When you sense an issue in your business, that does not mean you need to throw out your entire business and start over. And ever, Joshua. So that's a lesson. That's a good lesson you just learned. So get your old hit list out, continue on with that. And so ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself, Joshua, was I completely telling the truth in everything I sent out to these people? Did I take it as could I have been braver? Could I have asked for something, or could I followed up with a phone call? Could I have done something one step farther? Right? Could I push the envelope any farther? Am I following a bunch of rules that don't fucking exist? Well, what if I bother them? I don't want to seem like a bother, right? All that crap. Oh, it's only for lucky. Look, you're the most gaslit profession in the world, people. We're born out of ritual, religion. To me, acting is my religion. We're born out of ritual, right? And then we were owned by the studios, and then we were owned by agents. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all, because you pay for your business. So therefore it is your business. You're paying an agent. Therefore they work for you. we were nice for a while and said they're our partner. That's bullshit. Yes, they work for you. Yes, but you are the fucking boss. I mean, you're the boss, right? And so just fix what's ever broken. Don't throw out the whole business, right? Now, here's what I was going to tell you before I forget. When you're selling a business, I'm not going to sell my acting business. Well, yeah, but you have to think like this. When you're selling a business, this is what people care about. Your list, right? Your systems, right? And your equipment or product, right? Those are the things they care about when they're buying a business. So for you, that your list is the most important fucking thing in the business. Never throw out any name, ever, ever, ever. The bigger the list, the better. Now, for you guys that were on Mastermind on Tuesday, that was the thing. Oh, nothing's happening for me. Well, how many people are on your list? 12. It's a numbers game, people, right? We're talking about who said this. Someone just told me that some set of very wealthy parents raised their children to assume that you're going to get rejected. Because you do 90% of the time. So it's like not picked, looked over, invisible. You're looking for that one time, Joshua, and you've got it now. Like you've got the juju now, Joshua. Like you've been around Actors Fast Track long enough that you've got the juju, right? So now you want to take it and see how farther you can push it because now you're comfortable. So like when you are training to be a bodybuilder, like you always have to be uncomfortable. If you're not sore the next day, you need to push it farther. So this is it with your business, you guys. If you want to win a fucking Oscar, right? If you want to do that, you have to do this. Like every day you go, okay, right. Okay, next time in my audition, I'm going to break a rule. See what happens. Right? Like, oh, yeah. Oh, like think about Melissa McCarthy when she was preparing for her audition for Bridesmaids. Okay, this is either going to fly or it's not. But I think this woman should be a lesbian. And then the surprise is that she's not. Right. And so we all thought the whole time she's gay. And then she meets her husband on the airplane. We're like, what the fuck? Like, you're not gay? Well, like, yes, you are. Right. And that was hilarious. And like, that was a huge choice. Right. And it was like ridiculous. She was ridiculous. She got nominated for an Oscar. She pushed it, her envelope. That pushing your envelope is also about like, like I said to Tracy Letts in my slate for the minutes, I said, I like this almost better than Killer Joe. And not August. My favorite Tracy Letts play has always been Killer Joe. Mm. And by the way, did you see the minutes? You probably didn't.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
No, it wasn't as good as it was when we read it.
Mm. Interesting.
I know. And my clients that saw it said the same thing.
That's so interesting. I know.
When I read it, I was just like, oh, this play's amazing. But it's not. I mean, it is, but it wasn't.
That's so funny, though. I mean, but it's true. You know, I mean, you guys. I mean, this is for Valerie. This is really for Valerie and I. But the best things you ever see are the first time someone does it in rehearsal.
This is so true.
Right. It's really hard to recapture that first time someone does something brilliant.
It's like those moments. If you ever did a lot of improv, like I was in an improv scene once. And somehow I became a woman on a bike walking my pet tiger through the park. And this is like 10, 15 years ago. So it wasn't like, we didn't have Tiger Joe yet. Right. And it was so fucking ridiculous. Like, how did I get there? Like my mind took me there, and I was just like, laughing. And I was like, I was trying not to laugh because it was so ridiculous.
That's great.
Yeah. And just, the reality of it, like how I got there as an actor. I love acting, I know, I mean, I can talk about acting all day, but I do love it. I am good to get to play next week again as an actress on
Good.
on the little thing that I've been up to.
That's
Do we have
great.
any questions? Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
yeah. So Joshua has a follow-up. He says, wow, that's exactly what I did. I didn't want to get too annoying. I could have asked more and followed up with calls. I didn't sell all I have to offer.
Yeah, right, Joshua. So let's just talk about that 1 second. You guys, I know I use this bottle. It changes color because I get new ones, but this is my water bottle. And if I was going to sell this to you, I mean, only if you have time, could you just take a look at my blue water bottle? It's, it's okay. It's like kind of screws off the lid. And, I mean, you would not sell that to me if I was Target and you were trying to get your blue bottle in my store. Of course not. You would sell, I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys, pay attention. Boeing sold airplanes that they knew were going to crash to foreign countries. And 2 of them did crash. Hello? Like, like people will sell you shit. I'm not like, like people go, aren't you worried about the actors that come to you if they're not good actors? I'm like, look, first of all, if they come to me, their chances are they're a good actor because that's who I attract. But it's so not about that, right? It's about like, now listen, if you sell your product so well and you get on a huge set and you're the lead and you don't have the skill set to do that, that's a fucking problem. I mean, you're not going to go into, a machine, tell people, oh, I can build an airplane. And then, they give you a welding torch or whatever, and you don't even know how to fucking run it. I mean, they're not going to, right? Of course, that's not cool. So know how to deliver your product. And if you are just now figuring that out, like you haven't done any of that, you haven't done it, you should not be talking to me. You should be talking to James or an acting teacher. Yeah. Right? A class. Now, with that being said, if you've been in acting class and you've learned something and you're ready to get in there and start making money as an actor, then you can talk to me. But like, it's a different thing. It's the same because I am an actor, so I can talk to you about acting. I can even coach you if it's a, thing. But I'm also going to tell you to go hire a coach. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question.
So Anna Maria Rudiger asks, talking about your list, would you take the names of people who wish you luck but never said you're on their file, or can you send them items? I'm organizing my spreadsheet and looking for more people to reach. So far I have about 575 people, but so far maybe.
Girl, that's a good girl. I'm proud of you.
But so far maybe 9 to 11 actually on their file.
Okay. All right. So you're always marketing to your whole list. Now, if there are people that are fans that are already in your fan club, and I know you have a couple of those, Anna Maria, that are like, and so what I mean by that for you guys that don't know is that you all have a fan club, right? And so the definition of my fan club is if they're casting or directing or producing or writing a project that has me in it, they think of me, right? My brand, what I sell, right? And so that I'm one of the first 10 to 20 people they think of bringing in for the role. That's definition fan club for me, right? So she's got a couple of people that are nearing fan club. After working just as a year as an actor. I mean, she was an actor, sort of a wannabe actor before then. And then she met us and look at what's happened. And she's had all these meetings, right? Anna Marie, congratulations. That's a huge list now. So you want to continue to market to those people on a regular basis, because here's the deal. And it doesn't matter. Like one of my clients is successful in Instagram in something besides acting. And she said, I have a lot of followers. Is that a problem? I'm like, no, because if I'm the casting director, the producer and writer, and I'm going home to my New Jersey Transit tonight, and I'm looking at TikTok, and my favorite thing on TikTok is people baking cakes. and you're famous for baking your cakes. So I see your face every day. And then I go into my office and I'm one of your followers, and I go into my office and your agent, if you have an agent, submitted you or you pitched for a project, come across my desk, and I'm like, she's right for that role. Audition, right? So that's how that happens, right? So you need to get your face and name in front of these people. So when you need them, you're there. And the more that you can automate that part of it, then over here, you can have fun. You can pursue a single thing. Like we have clients that have gone after, we had a client that went after Wicked, the musical movie, and she got the audition, right? And so like we've had people that have gone after the job, the lead in a series, and got the role, right? So right, like going after a certain project is where it's really fun, because then you're like, oh, how do I get that? I need to get that. I need to be on that show. How do I do that? Right. And you can get obsessed with that. Right. And so then if you have this on automation marketing, like a newsletter or a postcard or something, or someone else doing it for you, whatever it is, it's like you have to have this. And it can be social media. But name face, because you are your own company. And no one is going to find you buyer's referral. And now you're waiting for a fucking agent that's getting 75. That is like, and I saw this agent on TikTok that said, oh, the other day I talked to this casting director and she said she got in 1 hour 7,500 submissions. You know how many auditions she gave out? 112. You know what that tells you? You need to count your blessings. Each one is a gift. Okay, so first of all, I have so much to say about that. The first thing is, why is she getting 7,500 submissions? Because Actors No Access is broken. The system that they have been using is not working. So if you are not out there selling your product, they're not. Let me tell you something. That agent that was complaining on TikTok about how we should be so thankful it's a gift that we got a fucking audition. Fuck you. I'm sorry, but I was pissed. That pissed me off. I think I'm going to stitch her. Listen to my TikTok talk.
Oh my God.
I'm obsessed with TikTok. All of my clients, everyone on here that's a client knows that. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing, do you talk to your people about funnels?
We've talked about sequencing.
Okay. So I'll just say something quickly, and that is,
you tell them about funnels. I think.
Well, I mean, I'll speak to funnels for you guys in a way that's really clear for what you're doing, right? So Anna Maria, you're saying you have a hit list of 575 people, right? And so that's like a really big funnel, and these are people who you want to get to know you, but they don't know you yet. And then you've got like 9 to 11 people who you're on their file and they know you. So when we talk about a funnel, we might think of like, well, I might want to send a different message to those 9 to 11 people than I would to the larger group, right? Because to the larger group, I'm really sending a, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I stand for. And the 9 to 11 people, they know, right? They already know that. So you might want to target them with a different kind of message. Like it might become a more personalized message.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, like doing something in your life or giving them something. Remember that sales is service, Anne-Marie. So like giving them something, right? Like, hey, here's a recipe, or here's this, like, because, but not just to give, but like thoughtful, like, and maybe remember this, marketing is very much storytelling. So speaking of TikTok, we follow along people, and then if they don't post every day, if you're really one of their followers and you like what they have to say, and they don't post every day, you're like, where are they? They've forsaken me. That is what TikTok is turning us into. So think about that when you're
Yeah, and there's another lesson about marketing, which is regularity. Like Valerie talks about systems, and that's so important because regularity is more important than volume. So if you get,
it's more important than perfection.
yeah, totally. So what's really important is that whatever you do, it becomes regular, so people can count on it. If Valerie knows that every Wednesday you post, then Valerie's not going to worry about the rest of the week, right? If every Wednesday you've got a fantastic TikTok post, Valerie's going to check it out every Wednesday. But if you start doing it some days and not some days, then Valerie can't rely on that, right? As a viewer.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of our people, like Evans is on here, and his newsletters are really entertaining. He has a great open rate, and so people are looking forward to it. Yeah.
So Anna Maria has a couple of follow-ups. I'll read them both. Sorry, she has one follow-up. I noticed I have a couple, like J.J. Abrams, open my email 5 times, and others like 11 times, but they don't reply. I've never thought about that. I'm just not sure who to see them, if they are fans or just curious, and if they're still in the fish hook or work on reeling them in. Okay, so if J.J. Abrams is opening your email, you don't need J.J. Abrams to reply. J.J. Abrams is not going to reply unless he needs to, because he's so busy, right? If he wants you, he now knows you exist. If he opens your emails, it means he knows you exist.
Likely it's someone that does it for him, and so she's opening everything and seeing if it's valid. But she sees you.
Yep.
Right, and then he says one day, "I need X, Y, and Z, and X, Y, and Z is you."
That's right.
There's this girl. Check her out. Yeah. Oh my God, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you. Bring her in. Let's see. Talk. Yep, that's it. That's what happened.
Yeah, and you guys, if we let ourselves get distracted or despairing because people don't respond to us, think of it this way: you walk into I don't know. I'm trying to think of like
you're driving down the highway. Can you imagine like every time someone drives down the highway past a McDonald's and doesn't stop, that McDonald's would go like, why did he stop? Why did he stop? They know that they have golden arches out on the highway and people are going to stop. And it always starts with one person.
Yeah.
Another person. And then pretty soon it picks up pace. If you do the right things and function your business in a well and healthy way, you can build a long, very profitable. I made a living as an actor from 95 until 2015, is when I really stepped away, because I started this company in 2012. And then I was like, oh, I'm really into this change, leading this movement. So, and I still work as an actress because the machine has been going for that many years. Right. And so,
yep.
Yeah. And it's like streams of revenue, figuring that out.
Go ahead. And well, the other thing I was going to say was that, so I have a friend whose name is Jill Larson. Right. And years ago, Jill Larson had an audition for Martin Scorsese. Right. And she never heard anything back again. She thought she did a good job, but she never heard anything back again. Right. So she was like, oh, well, lost cause, he didn't pick me, whatever, right? Years later, Jill gets direct to booking call. Martin Scorsese movie, Shutter Island. She's that woman who's outside of the Shutter Island facility, who's bald and creepy and scary. She was on all the posters, she was on all of the trailers. Like, Martin Scorsese never forgot her. And
Martin Scorsese, amazing. He's so smart.
Right. He never forgot her. And when he saw a spot in his movie that he wanted her, he had them literally call her and book on this, like they called with a booking and said, would you like to be in a Martin Scorsese movie? Right. So this is that thing of like, we have to keep going. We have to believe in what we're doing and continue and trust. Like you guys, I have a friend, one of my best friends from high school was a casting director in Los Angeles for a long time. And he said to me, he said, James, I never forget a face. He said, that's my gift. He's like, I don't ever forget a face. I know the name and the face of every actor who's ever come across my desk. And if you think about that and you say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, those people who are high level casting directors,
Deborah Zane,
they never forget a face, which means that every time that you send something in or put yourself in front of them, they're reminded of you, and they never forgot you in the first place, but they know you're busy and they're active. That doesn't mean she's going to call you and say, hey, thanks so much for sending me, right? That's not her job. Her job is not.
So that's really important what you just said, because you have to continue on the conversation, a one-sided conversation. You can't keep starting over.
Yep.
Because they remember you.
Yep. Okay, so an anonymous attendant.
Oh my God, that just like hit me really hard what you just said, James. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So anonymous attendee says, James, maybe turn down your turn down your mic a bit. Sorry, am I too loud? I can turn down my mic. Happy to turn down a bit.
They're anonymous.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't mind turning down my mic a little bit. I know the mics can be tricky, but I'm going to bring it down a bit. So there we go. Hoping that's better. You can let me know. Attendance anonymous attendee, anonymous attendee. Let me know if that works. Okay, continuing on. So Karen Kniebel.
Yes.
I'm wondering what people are putting in a newsletter and how you would put your hit list on your newsletter list. Aren't there rules or opting into a newsletter?
No, you can just have an unsubscribe button. That's all you need in America. You can have an unsubscribe button at the bottom and they can choose to unsubscribe. And when they unsubscribe, then you just send them something else, like a postcard, put them on a mailing list. If they unsubscribe, send them a postcard. That's a system, by the way. So, right, rather than they unsubscribe, it's like, oh, postcard, send, right? That's it. So they prefer to be mailed to is the new thought. No, that you just have to unsubscribe. You can send it through MailChimp. What do you say? Well, I would recommend that you get on Scott Cargill's newsletter list, and he'll send you his, and I can send you a few as well of some of, and clients, please send her, Karen's a new client. So if you haven't met her yet, send her your newsletters, like Evans and anyone that has a newsletter that you send out, please send it. I think really all that matters in answer to the question is your name and face, right? I have a client that hired someone on Fiverr to do their newsletter. Scott says the same shit over and over again. And always at the end, he's like, the best thing to do is sort of divide it into three. So like my one client does on camera, she's a producer and she does voiceovers, like big voiceovers. So she has 3 sections. And so all she has to do is plug something into each one of those sections, right? And if she stumbles, then she just says something like, had a few auditions, but hey, in case you haven't watched it, watch my reel, right? Like, it's just another way of her doing that. So, if you have like again, that's a system, a way to plug in 3 things and then send it. It's a good way of getting that name and face. But you know what? You could do a personalized email. Until your list gets to like 500, then it gets really difficult, right? And it's good to, and I would send from my email, or I'd send from MailChimp or something like that if I was going to do a newsletter.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There are inexpensive options.
Yeah.
And MailChimp is one of the best inexpensive options.
Yes.
So Anna Maria followed up. Thank you. It helps a lot because now I'll go through and pull the ones who have opened multiple times, so I can put them in my personal list to send them funny memes or recipes, postcard from Germany.
Yeah. So like Anna Maria, back in the day when we used to mail postcards a lot, like my way of doing what James was talking about, like the ones that I knew that I had personal, I'd take a Sharpie and I'd write a little note on the postcard.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the audition the other day. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything worked out with that thing. Like whatever I knew about them that was going on.
Yeah, and also, like, I mean, Anna Marie, your final thing is I won't freak out now if they don't reply, and the other thing is, like, I would say we actually don't want them to reply unless they have an offer for us, or unless they want to call us in. Like we don't want people replying to our message.
Yeah, when you in a magazine or online, when you see the ads, they don't even have a team to answer if you would reply to an advertisement.
No, and yeah, I mean, I think that the other way to look at it is that our job is to put ourselves in front of them,
yes,
consistently, as professionals in a way that markets us really clearly.
yes.
Their job is to keep a lookout for a possible fit for us. Their job isn't to start this intense dialogue with us, right? Because that's some other relationship, but that's not a business relationship. We actually want the healthy business relationship. And the healthy business relationship is the story that Valorie tells about getting Bed Bath & Beyond coupons, right? The healthy bed, like you wouldn't write back to Bed Bath & Beyond and say, thank you so much for the coupon you sent, right? Thank you so much for this monthly coupon. It means so much to me to get the monthly coupon. No, you're gonna wait for the time when you need the coupon, and then you use it. And then the person whose job is to market is like, score, they used my coupon, awesome, right? So think of it that way, that we're putting ourselves in front of them so that when they need,
you're giving them coupons. That's really
that's right, exactly. Evans writes, what's the story with the handcuffs in James's back? Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah. So my niece, I'm in my niece's apartment, and her she's a tinkerer. So she works with metal and locks, and she works with, she does bicycles, and she works with all kinds of metal. So I think it's sort of a sense of humor that she has, and like having cool, like if I showed you, like, like she has, like, literally their bicycles hanging up next to me. Can you see those bikes?
Yeah.
Like she's got all kinds of metal and things hanging all around me. It's just the, you guys are getting the handcuffs in the picture, which is a different look. It's nothing about my marketing. Okay. So I'm going to pronounce this name. Is it Zulima?
Yeah, Zulima.
Zulima, as far as continuing a conversation, can you give an example? Like, what do you start with, and how can you follow up?
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, I'd like to introduce myself, and you go through that, maybe do your little pitch like we've worked on, right? So that, Zulima. And then, hey, it's me from last week, the one that's done this and this and this and this. And I just wanted to send you this clip. I forgot to send it to you. Thank you. And oh, have a good summer. Right. And then, hey, how's your summer going? Good to hear from you again. Yeah. So I've been doing this, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but this is a really good thing, and I thought I'd recommend it to you. I'm going to sign up to come. I'm going to go see you at a film festival, or I saw this film that you directed, and I wanted to tell you that I really loved it. I'd love to get together and for a Zoom coffee. Here's my calendar link. Hey, I hope you had a great summer. We didn't get to do the Zoom coffee. Here's my calendar link. Let's meet, let's talk. I want, I think that we are such a good, we just need to talk, and whatever the thing is, like, you can find the thing there. So that's like an example of like where I'm going with building a relationship with someone.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I think this fits into the earlier conversation we're having, which is what's the appropriate continuation of the conversation, right? Like given who this is,
Yes.
what is the purpose of it? Like one question that we have to know is what do I want? What do I want out of the next meeting or conversation with someone?
Yeah.
Right. Like what's my goal? Because we really have to know that when we're asking for someone else's time, right? If I say to Valorie, hey Valorie, do you have an hour that I can meet with you? Well, Valorie, Valorie and I are friends, and Valorie might say yes, but I better have an idea of what like Valerie's time is it's really valuable. So I need to know, like, well, what is this about? What's what are we talking about? What's the goal of this conversation? So if you start with a question of what's the goal of the conversation, then that introductory initial interaction is clearer.
Yeah.
Right. If I know that, right, there's so many different kinds of people in the industry, right? A writer, a director, a casting director, a producer, right? With each one of those people have different function in the industry. And so each one of those people has a different take on what's happening. And what they can get you or do for you, or what doors they can open, are unique to that job, right? So we have to know, like, well, what am I hoping for in that conversation? And once I've answered that question of what am I hoping for, then my interaction with them is much clearer. I would love to shadow a director. Like personally, James, like I would love to shadow a director on set, right? Now that might help me as an actor as well. Yeah. Shadowing a director might be really helpful. But my goal in shadowing a director, I'm not going to say like I want to shadow a director so I can get cast. I would be saying, oh, well, why would a director say yes to me shadowing them? I love your work. I have seen the shows that you've directed on this project, and by far the most exciting and most interesting. And I would love to see how you're approaching it and what you're doing. Is there a possibility that I can have a conversation with you about shadowing, or to talk to you about the steps you take and what choices you're making, right?
Yeah, because that's an honest thing about having an opinion about something that yeah. I mean, when you talk about the art that we all are a part of, it's and watch other people's art and experience it. It's it's like sales and service.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. One more question.
No, we're done. We answered all the questions.
Yay! Okay. So here's a couple things. In September, a lot starts to happen. However, like, look, we still have a couple of, Sarah is still talking to people. Sarah has been ill, but if you would like to reach out to her, you can just send her an email. Sarah's been ill, but
I'm so sorry.
She's feeling a little better today, but she's still pretty sick. But you can reach out to her, Sarah, SARA at actorsfasttrack.com, and she will put you on her calendar for next week if you do want to talk to us about working with us. And besides that, in September, we're starting our challenge, September 26th, going right into our game changer. And so the challenge will be book your dream role challenge, like book a, get booked now kind of thing. Yeah.
So I want to, because Sarah's sick, I want to do what Sarah might do if Sarah was on the call. I don't know if Sarah's on the call, but what Sarah would probably say, hey, you guys, this is a reminder. Valerie's big event for the year, which is a do not miss event, is October 7th, 8th, and 9th of this year. This is the 8th season of this. It is the most exciting and full-on change your life event in the Actors Fast Track menu.
Tickets aren't on sale yet. They're going to go on sale very shortly, like next week. And it's going to be for a very short time, a $47 ticket for all 3 days, and you get to pitch yourself. So you're definitely going to want to get that. So be on the lookout for it, the aftgamechanger.com, I think, but you'll see it everywhere where we'll post it on our link tree, which is on our Instagram. We'll be emailing about it. We'll be talking about it. So there'll be plenty of time to get your ticket for it. But I did want to say that.
Yeah. And I really believe that it's a do not miss event.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing event. I always am sad when it's over, James. Even digital, when we had to go. I mean, I have these big screens now and everything, but
why? So are you doing it digitally this year? Or are you doing live or on? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
no,
awesome,
digital.
awesome, yeah.
I mean, it's really only fair because we have so many clients in the UK and LA and New York, and it's just like everywhere, and then just like all over the country and other places. We've had New Zealand, we have a lot of Spain, Portugal, just like a lot of places. So we have to sort of create a virtual event, but like, that's the cool thing. It's not like any virtual event you've been to.
Yeah.
And it's all about you, and you actually get to work in breakout rooms on yourself. So it's really a 3 days of business school for the actor, but in a new way that you haven't heard without you been around me. So yay.
Yay. That's awesome.
Okay. Yay. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great day. And James, all my love to you. And
Thank you.
And kiss Chicago for me.
I will do so. Thanks, Val.
All
Love
right.
you too.
Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye, you guys.